Hello and welcome to Icebane Gaming's month of Valentine's. Every hole is a goal spectacular, and today we are going to be playing Love Thyself, a Horatio story. For those of you that don't know who Horatio is, he is a playable race in endless space, and basically he is a multi-billionaire that found a cloning device, and since he loved himself so much, he cloned himself into basically an entire spacefaring race. This game, from what I could tell, is Horatio dating Horatio. Alright. Without further ado, let's get started. It is impossible to disassociate my story from that of Horatio, the first of our name. Alright. The first beings to travel widely between the stars were known as the Endless. We know of no earlier form of intelligent life that moved between galaxies. Their history is glorious, but above all tragic. Though they unlocked the secrets of time, space, the stars, and life itself, they were unable to master their own internal conflicts. What remains now of the Endless are strange, disjointed traces in the forms of seeds, of observatories, of experiments, of cities and worlds, and perhaps, though not all of this is clear or verifiable, in the forms of other peoples. Many starfaring civilizations have since risen to the fore. Some have fallen as well. Events in recent history have led to an explosion in the number of players on the galactic scene. One of these, undoubtedly a major one, is Horatio. Once upon a time, Horatio was just a man, a simple trillionaire. One night, a vision came to him in the shape of a dream. It was the vision of an empire and eternal life. He left everything behind, venturing through the stars. Over the ages, he discovered many of the mysteries left behind by the Endless, and his knowledge and power grew. He created his first sons, and willed his empire into existence, a beacon of all that is brilliant and beautiful. Now the empire of Horatio flourishes, and Horatio himself is immortal, with the power to rival that of the Endless themselves. Some say that they were living gods. Now they're dead, though, while we thrive through our brother, our god, Horatio. Let's go towards the light. I think I hear someone. All the clones in this batch are to be decanted today. I know this is earlier than the original scheduled plan for, but the schedule didn't plan for 2 patrol squads in the heartland of the Empire to go missing within a month. Just follow my lead and the procedure will be fine. If you do well today, you might be promoted to Junior Lab Technician earlier than expected. Assistant Lab Technician. This would be amazing, sir. Don't interrupt. Most of the processes is animated, but contrarily to some of the clone hatching sequences you've seen in class, the final steps are still done by hand. There are procedures for which the computer cannot be trusted, and you have to rely on a steady Horatio judgment. Back to our specimens. You will handle clone births A through L, I'll do the other row. Pick one and get to work. Can you hear me? One moment I'm asleep, and the next I'm alive. My eyes struggle to adjust to the brightness of the room. It slowly comes into focus. There's a man in a white and blue uniform bent over me, with a bald, elongated head, and a look of concern on his face. Hello? Ah, you're awake. Great. I have a couple of questions for you. He shoves the small hollow pad he's holding into my face. It's very bright, and I recoil slightly, groaning something. He starts flipping through the pages when the other voice calls out. "Come over here, please. I need your help." The man looks for a place to put down the holopad and realizes his outfit doesn't have any pockets big enough to accommodate it. "Turgus F07, I'm talking to you. Get moving." "Yes, sir, coming." He looks down at me and ends up putting the tablet down next to me. "I'll be back." He trots away out of sight. I struggle to prop myself up on one elbow so I could keep watching him. He stops at the platform some distance away, on which lies a naked man. Another uniformed man is standing nearby, looking at the side panel next to the platform. All three of them look exactly alike. Brothers? "How can I help, sir?" The uniformed man points at the naked form in front of him. "This clone is faulty. The lights are on, but it seems like nobody's home." I try to make sense of all this. These people are clones of one another. "What do you mean, sir?" "Well, it's obvious, isn't it? He can hear us, but he can't respond. Something must have gone wrong during the process. On the outside, he's fine, but his motor or educational imprinting is flawed. The result is a useless hulk. What good is it being beautiful if you can't make everyone proud? The cloning vats are nearly perfect, but every once in a while, some other part of the pipeline produces a disgusting abnormality. Let's take care of him and chalk him up as a total loss. What do you need me to do?" "Simple. Take his legs." The man called Turgus F07 grabs the unmoving clone by the ankles and looks at the other clone. The latter has passed his hands over the clone's arms and pulls him off the platform with a grunt. "We'll put the body into the recycling chute. This way we can get the nutrients back. Think of it as a way of contributing." Both of them tug and pull haphazardly, and before long they're panting. "We can't afford to show weakness at this time, or ever. Everything and everyone is perfect and beautiful in the Horatio Empire. It's a kindness we're doing to him, when you think about it." I watch as they come nearer, and I realize that there are about a dozen other men on the platforms. All of them are in various states of lying down or sitting up, looking at the grotesque scene with mild interest. Every single one of them is a carbon copy of the trio in front of us. I catch my reflection in the surface, and I realize I too am one of them. A clone. One of them. A Horatio. It is a good thing we caught this now, so we can fix it before the ceremony. Our records need to be perfect. Otherwise, we'll end up in the backwater station, decanting the he knows what. This is a small blessing, really. For you and me. I mean, for him. Not so much. The trio passes in front of me, and for a moment, my eyes lock into those of a faulty clone. Far from being dead inside, I can see fear radiating from him. He knows he's going to be killed off because he's imperfect. I sit up and try to figure out what these tests are about. I don't want to follow this guy into the recycling chute. Every time I think about what a memory test entails, I come up with a blank. I think that this is an issue right there. My body's functional. I can understand what people are saying and think, but there's nothing of the memory implants they mentioned. I'm a blank slate. Prop him up while I open the chute. I gotta do something about this. I turn around and look at the clone next to me, who is gazing about with an air of studied detachment. Our eyes lock and his expression shifts to a scowl. I haven't done anything to deserve it, although I've been fidgeting on my platform. What are you looking at, subordinate? I rummage for a good comeback. All of these guys seem to hold perfection in a high regard. I know what'll shut him right up. I could call him ugly. I could see that would be a problem if we're clones. Or I could say, I'm just wondering whose clone you are. Surely it can't be one of us. Alright, that one I'm going with. Takes him a moment, but eventually he gets it. He reddens and mutters under his breath, "It definitely doesn't sound friendly." I realize we seem to be easily provoked, and causing a scene might just be my way of getting out. I pull my legs off the platform to do just that when I catch something about to fall off. It's the holopad Turgus F07 has left by my side. Maybe there's some information in there that'll help me cheat my way through the test instead. What should I do? I could provoke a fight or look for information. I'm probably gonna look for information, because that feels a bit better. I'll go for the subtle approach. I sit back down and put the holopad in my lap. There are a number of tabs open: medical procedures, inventories, and the news. There's a tab that seems to be a serial called Forbidden Love. I press the button in front of the image and the show resumes. The sound is off, subtitles are on. I can only guess that Turgus F07 is not as studious as he appears. The show is taking place in a richly decorated room, with draperies hanging off the walls, pieces of ornate furniture, elongated vases, and tall chalices. Everywhere portraits, statues, 3D holograms representing me. Well, the me who's in charge. We seem really into ourselves. And right on cue, there's another me on screen. He's arguing about something with somebody we can't see. Two other Horatios come into view, one dressed as a soldier, and the other in civilian clothes. The soldier is demanding a rebellion on a distant colony be met with force, while the civilian is offering a more measured approach, presenting it as magnanimous. Gonna take a quick drink. The argument goes back and forth for a bit, with the main me, whom they call Prime, eventually making the call. He'll be magnanimous and offer the rebels a chance to redeem themselves. The soldier stomps off, while the other guy sticks around and shuffles close to him. They share a quick embrace before he slinks off. I fast forward a bit. The soldier comes back into the next scene. In some sort of parlor, Prime and him exchange some oblique remarks about it, and it becomes clear that in the shadows, things are going to get pretty bad for the rebels anyways. So that's the way things are done around here. Okay. And the soldier tears off his uniform, revealing a perfectly smooth chest. The two exchange a smoldering look, their lips meet with passion, and they fall to the ground. Oh. I hear footsteps approaching, and I swiftly put the tablet back down. Turgus F07 is coming my way. I rest my hands on the platform and do my best to look detached. I'm ready to play the part. Right. He picks up the tablet and swipes through it, then looks up at me. Right. Okay, I'll ask you a couple of questions, just making sure everything's fine. Let's get this over with, pal. I've got places to be. Settle down, please. This'll take only a moment. Looks like your monitor controls are working fine. Let's tick that box and move on to the memory test. I'll make it short. What is the name of the first and foremost, our God, Creator, and Benevolent Leader? Horatio Prime. The big forehead in the sky would likely piss them off, because that's very rude for a Horatio to say. The man of my dreams. Well, I'm kind of tempted to go with that one just for the hell of it. Let's drop a quick save. There we go. The man of my dreams. Turkus FO7 lowers his holopad for a second and swoons. I know, right? So dreamy. He inhales sharply and looks into the distance. His gaze loses focus for a moment, and then he comes back. Whoops. Sorry, I got caught in the moment. You're good to go. Well, don't go anywhere. Sit tight and wait until we're done with the processing. Everyone else. With that, he moves, taking his holopad with him. I lay back on the platform and relax. Sometime later, the assistant comes back. Thank you for waiting. I'm going to ask you to please head to the wardrobe room and the next room over, where you'll find your station uniform. Anyone will do. They're all the same size, obviously. After that, you'll be directed towards indoctrination. This will be followed by dinner, orientation, and you'll be shown to your quarters. Now, this way, please. The door to the next room opens, and we step inside. There's a few tables at the far end of the room. Uniforms are neatly stacked and folded next to one another. We look at one another uneasily until someone steps forward and grabs a uniform, looks at it warily, and puts it on. We follow suit. It is just some sort of green jumpsuit with 2 deep pockets. It closes with a simple zipper in front. The uniform is a pretty snug fit, and the fabric seems sturdy, yet comfortable. I notice that there's a pair of light boots under the table, so I take a pair. They're a bit tight. I put my hands in my pockets and look around, waiting for what's next. The wait doesn't last. After a minute, another door opens, and the assistant from before is holding his holopad and peers inside. Okay, huh? Well, normally, there's someone else to show you the way to the indoctrination. We're a bit short-staffed at the moment, apparently. There's a grumble from my neighbors at this lack of decorum. I've lit up a path on the holoscreens, and it will guide you there. Just proceed down the hallway to the concourse and follow instructions. Sorry about that. I shuffle out of the room and hesitantly walk down the hallway, hoping that I won't get lost. The others follow me, although at the distance, no one seeming to want to take the initiative. They seem to be familiar with their surroundings, but not with the layout of the station. At least none of us has to pretend. I think no one wants to be the one going down the wrong way and making a mistake in front of the others. I've seen crossroads twice and stuck to the path indicated by the arrow on the wall screens. So far, so good. I keep walking. The others follow. Eventually, I hear a murmur in the distance, which grows to a distinct noise as I draw nearer. I see some bright lights in the distance, and a much more colorful environment. I step out onto the plaza, a cathedral of green and gold. There are columns of glass everywhere, with manicured trees and shrubs on every corner, and overhead an immense glass canopy. This must be the concourse. There are a lot of people here, all wearing the same jumpsuits we are, probably fresh new clones just like us. Even my jaded brethren around me are all muttering among themselves in tones of wonder and amazement, as if talking out loud might make the wonders fade away. This way, please. The voice cuts through the noise effortlessly, and in a moment the conversations go quiet. A Horatio has appeared on an immense holoscreen, inviting us to move along. There are more holo projections in the hallways leading to, what was it, indoctrination? That sounds unpleasant. Nevertheless, I follow the crowd. We meander through the corridors for a couple of minutes before we reach our destination. This is a huge room covered in rich materials, from the deep carpeting in the middle of the room to the paneled walls. There are long rows of wide, comfortable-looking seats, all facing a wall covered with immense hollow screen. Low columns form arcades and run along the wall of the room. It's beautiful. A Horatio in a red suit standing with arms crossed on a low podium in front of the hollow screen. He has a look of studied annoyance on his face. Once all of us are inside the room, he speaks up. "May I have your attention, please?" The crowd falls silent. His voice carries across the room, and even from somewhere near the entrance, I can easily hear him. "Please take a seat. Go all the way through the row. Don't just hog the center seats. You'll hear me, though just fine from the sides as well." There's a bit of a rush forward from all the new clones to do exactly the opposite of that. Soon enough, there's a cluster of Horatios are sitting in the prime seats and preventing the rest of the file to move along. Oh, for his sake. Go around the audience and find the seat from the other side and occupy the back and the seats if necessary, side seats if necessary. I position myself carefully in a spot in the back. I'd rather watch what's happening than do my best to blend in. The Horatio in the red outfit seems about to continue, when another moves in from the shadowy arcades to the side of the room and climbs the steps to the podium. His feet echo softly on the green marble tiles. The red Horatio closes his mouth and deflates a bit. The other one is moving pretty slowly, and from the envious looks of my closest neighbors, I can only imagine that it's on purpose. He dismisses the red with a casual gesture of the hand and a smile. Red Horatio leaves the stand. With a grin, the second Horatio turns to us, his cape flowing in an emphatic demonstration that he's here, and demands our attention. When he speaks, his inflections are slightly different. I surmise that he probably spends a lot of time speaking in public. "Thank you, second-rate Master Sergeant Extras B12. That'll be all. To each and every me, welcome to the Kappa Station, finest in the cluster. Your memory imprints do not cover the last couple of decades, since the last backup was distributed among cloning facilities in this quadrant. Hello, and thank you for watching this episode of Love Thyself, a Horatio story. Today, we were born as a clone. Tomorrow, we might even be able to succeed in romance. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.